Hi guys, welcome to another video of life updates with Dhir. And today I want to talk about a topic which is debated on a lot in any household or in any family, which is, do you need a plan B? Because if you're someone who comes from a mentality of trying to do something completely new in your life, or trying to do something which has not been done ever before by other people, or being someone unique, or being someone like who stands out, I think everyone always asks you what is your plan B, in case things don't work out, right? And I feel like if you move ahead with that logic, it's very flawed in every aspect of your life. That's just my opinion, because I feel like when you have a plan B, you can never really push yourself with your plan A, right? I realized this based on experiences in my life, and I feel like if you always have one particular plan, or if you stick to only plan A, there is no other option. The amount of risk, the amount of uncertainty you will face, that is going to bring out another version of you that you have never ever seen. And that is something that can unlock a lot of potential and a lot of goals for you. Many of you might say things like, oh, you haven't gone through much to understand why having only one particular plan is very bad. Well, I have, and every single time I have gone through that, I've realized that I would sleep much more peaceful at night knowing that I gave my all into one particular plan compared to giving little bit into both and then feeling the guilt that I could not put my best version into the perspective of one particular goal, right? Because when you are giving efforts into two particular things, you are compromising time for one to give efforts to another. So it's up to you. If you want to feel the guilt of not giving your best and having two options on your table, then go ahead. I won't be saying much about it, but if you're someone who thinks like me, I genuinely would recommend you to only stick to one plan, because trust me, it has made a huge impact in my life. Yeah, and now a lot of people will say things like, but bro, if I'm not completely sure on a particular goal, like how am I supposed to just go ahead with that? I need the time, and until I have the time, like I need to have something else with me so that I can continue to do whatever it is that I want to do in a sustainable manner, and this, that. Well, friend, if you are going through that, then you don't really have a plan, because a plan is a soundproof thing, alright? You know the way, you have designed the way in such a manner that you know the structure that needs to be followed. Okay, so if you are someone who has designed a structure that needs to be followed, knows the exact in and outs and about how that structure will be followed, that is when you can call it a plan, or else you don't have a plan yet. Okay, so if you're in that situation, then you're allowed to have a backup. Okay, but if you're someone who has a soundproof plan but is still keeping a backup because they're scared, then I don't think you'll be able to push yourself to the way you want to. Okay, because I was watching this video, okay, from this guy called Tanmay Bhatt, who is a comedian and an Indian YouTuber, and he was talking about symmetric and asymmetric returns. All right, so basically, symmetric is something where you put in X amount of effort and then you get Y, like with respect to your tests, okay, with respect to studies in an exam, right? But an asymmetric return is something which can either give you a lot or can give you absolutely nothing. For example, you might be walking right now from your house to a particular place where you might want to meet someone, okay? And when you're doing that, you might find a person who might change your life completely, okay? You might find a friend who, or a person on the side of the road who gives you insights and as well as value, which might change your life completely, or you might just have a normal walk. All right, so that's what I mean by asymmetric returns. Asymmetric returns either gives you a lot, which is substantially way more than how much you put in, or it gives you nothing at all. And the life which a particular person wants to pursue, who is someone who wants to be unique, is going to be a life where you'll be getting asymmetric returns. So if you're a person who's trying to start a business, okay, and you're putting in X amount of money into it, right, you can either get a substantially large amount of output, okay, for example, you blow up overnight, okay, while you're doing something, or you get nothing at all. All right, so before you start anything, remember that the returns that you might get are going to be asymmetric. You cannot get Y amount of returns for X amount of efforts if you're doing something that is completely unique and has never been done before. Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys through this video. I'm personally going through this, and I feel like these days, not these days, over the last few months, I've decided to completely stick to one thing rather than having a backup plan B, because 4 years from now, when I graduate from college, I can never think about working in a corporate and spending the rest of my life over there. And I know for a fact that that is not something I'm going to have as a plan B, no matter if I'm on the roads or if I have nothing at all left to me. Okay, so this relates to the video which I last posted on my channel, okay, which basically talks about 3 steps that you need to improve as a teenager, where I talk about delusion, okay, and I feel like most successful people are very delusional when it comes to whatever they do. It might be a 1% chance for you to get somewhere and for you to be successful, but are you willing to take that 1% chance? That's what you need to ask yourself before you do anything. If you do that, I think that solves 80% of your mental efforts as well as your personal efforts to that goal. It's all in your head. If you get that fixed, 80% of your work is done. Rest 20% is just execution, bro. Alright, you are gonna continue to execute if you have the brain to do that. So focus on your brain, focus on whether you want that 1% or not, and you're gonna go so far that later on you'll thank yourself. Thank you for watching, guys, and remember to bet on yourself, because if you don't, no one else will, and I'm rooting for you from far away. See ya.